Hello and welcome to the Leaderboard Reveal Show presented by RAM. Tommy Marquez here, and the 2021 Open is finished. The leaderboard is closed. That means we have your top performers from both workouts in week 3 of the Open, as well as the top athletes overall that are in a prime position moving into the quarterfinals. We're going to start with the 21.3 leaderboard on the men's side. All of your top 10 athletes managed to crack the 8-minute barrier, but it's Spain's Fabian Beneito with a top time unofficially of 7:37. He's followed by a host of familiar names, including 5 current and former individual games athletes. Looking at the 21.4 overall leaderboard, got some big lifts here. The top lift coming from Graciano Rubio, USA, with 365 pounds. But it should be noted that some of these guys are outliers. They managed to lift heavy, but they weren't really a factor in 21.3 or the overall leaderboard, except for number 6, Travis Mead. His lift of 345 pounds was a key factor in his worldwide placing. More on that in just a second. But the man who had arguably the best week 3 out of anybody, Canada's Samuel Cournoyer, the only athlete so far to finish inside the top 25 worldwide in both of the week 3 workouts. 24th as of right now in 21.3 with a time of 8:09, 20th worldwide in 21.4 with a lift of 328, and it boosted him up the overall standings. And taking a look at those standings after 3 weeks of the Open, Cournoyer's down in second. He moves up into the top 10. And the overall leader right now, Canada's Jeffrey Adler, has a top 5 finish last year in the Open worldwide. He does that one better. He is in position right now to win his first ever Open worldwide. Lots of familiar faces in the top 10 overall, but like I mentioned earlier, Travis Mead's strong performance in 21.4 moves him into a top 3 position and the chance to earn some prize money. Take a look down at number 9 though. Cole Grayshaver, 21-year-old former team podium athlete, has his best finish overall worldwide. But one athlete I do want to highlight, Scott Panchik, after a year away in the team competition, makes his return to the individual side of the house. We got to see him throw down in week 3 for the Open announcement. You know what? He put down a top performance in 21.3 and 21.4, decides to retest it. He would have been in the top 3 worldwide regardless, but he gets a 9-second improvement and a 5-pound improvement as well, and that's good enough to give him a career best finish, finishing second right now unofficially in the Open. Switching over to the women's side of the house in the 21.3 leaderboard, Tia-Clair Toomey-Orr takes the top time unofficially with 7:37. That is tied for the fastest time, man or woman on the individual side. But get used to this storyline. Mallory O'Brien on her heels, just 1 second behind. The teenage athlete clocks in unofficially at 7:38. Switching over to the 21.4 leaderboard, again, maybe some outliers here with some big lifts coming from some athletes at the top that maybe might not factor in the overall leaderboard. Christine Middleton with a lift of 242 pounds, followed by Ana Caldas out of Portugal, 237. She's a past regional athlete as well. And then some big names like Danny Spiegel, Cara Saunders, athletes we're used to seeing throw around some big weight, hanging around in the top 5 as well. An impressive lift from the teenager Paulina Haro out of Mexico with a top 5 lift of 232 pounds. But the woman that had the best week 3 overall should come as no surprise. Tia-Clair Toomey-Orr, the only athlete to finish in the top 10 worldwide in both of these workouts, really just highlighting what has made her the best ever on the women's side and what makes her a consummate champion at all levels of the sport. And now she gets to add a new accolade to her collection, and that is a worldwide Open winner. Unofficially right now sits atop the leaderboard after 3 weeks at the Open. One of the things that impresses me about Tia, the Open necessarily hasn't always been her jam, but you know what? She continues to get better, and she shows it here right now in line to win her first ever worldwide Open. Emma Cary, Cara Saunders round out the top 3. So basically, unless you're Australian or a teenager, you had zero chance at taking home some prize money in the Open on the women's side. One athlete we can't ignore, Emma Cary, the 16-year-old, just amazingly impressive performance across the board. 3 of the 4 workouts inside the top 20 worldwide. All of the workouts in the top 40 worldwide, takes home her first ever worldwide Open win in 21.2. And at just 16 years old, she is putting the entire world on notice that she is a future star and one to watch out for when the games roll around in July. Switching over to the age group divisions, this is your 21.3 leaderboard. Now these are all of the top performers worldwide across all of the divisions. I want to give a special shout out to Annie Sakamoto, Bill Grunler, the top times respectively for the women's 45 to 49 and the men's 50 to 54 division. Switching over to the 21.4 leaderboard in the top lifts worldwide in each age division. A couple want to highlight here. Paulina Haro, mentioned her earlier. She's in the 16 to 17 division, a lift of 232 pounds. That was good enough for one of the top lifts worldwide. She's out of Mexico. Rick Searles in the 50 to 54, 277 pounds. That's good enough for the top lift in his division. And the 65 plus, that's a new division this year. Patty Walkover walked right over the bar for a 125-pound lift representing the United States. Moving on now to the adaptive divisions and the top scores in 21.3. A lot of top times here. A ton of these athletes absolutely crushed this workout, but in the men's neuromuscular division, Brett Horchar with a time of 5:47. He absolutely destroyed this workout. In the women's intellectual division, Julia Lane out of Canada with the top time of 8:23. Switching to the 21.4 leaderboard and the top scores across the board, the top lifts across all of these adaptive divisions. Casey Underberg puts up the top lift in the men's vision category with 235 pounds. In the women's short stature division, Janae Zugades has a lift of 90 pounds, and she is out of the United States as well. Some impressive lifts across the board from all of these adaptive divisions. And hats off to all the athletes throwing down in the new divisions this year in this season's Open. That's going to do it for the Leaderboard Reveal Show presented by RAM. Up next, we have the individual quarterfinals. Those will run from April 9th through the 11th, and of course, we'll be bringing you guys coverage all weekend long throughout the competition. And stay tuned for more details about the quarterfinals at games.crossfit.com.